The stars were silent. For weeks, the galaxy had watched Earth's fleets gather on the dark side of the moon. Every alien empire knew what that meant. Something was coming. Something unstoppable. But no one understood why. From the edges of known space, transmissions spoke of burned worlds and lost colonies. The attacks were precise, surgical, and terrifying. A single alien species, calling themselves the Varuan Dominion, had declared war on humanity. Their message was short and cold. Earth expanded too far. Now, we erase you. At first, the galaxy pitied the humans. Most empires believed Earth would fall within a month. After all, humanity was young, a species that had only joined the stars a few centuries ago. But the galaxy forgot one simple thing: Earth doesn't surrender. In the war room deep beneath the Atlantic Command Center, Admiral Reyes stood before a holographic map glowing red with enemy movements. His face was tired but sharp, his eyes locked on the enemy front pushing through the Perseus arm. 72 colonies attacked, his second-in-command reported quietly. They're cutting us off system by system. Reyes didn't answer right away. He stared at the display, at the flickering lines that represented dying fleets. And what about the refugees from Vega Prime? Half made it through the Wormgate, the officer replied. The rest were lost. Silence filled the room. Only the hum of computers and the distant echo of orbital engines filled the air. Reyes finally spoke, his voice calm but firm. Then we moved to Phase 2. Earth made a promise. The officers looked at each other nervously. Everyone knew what Phase 2 meant. From orbit, hundreds of ships, gray, angular, and marked with the blue insignia of the United Earth Navy, turned toward deep space. Engines flared white-hot. Humanity's counterattack had begun. Across the galaxy, alien observers watched in disbelief as Earth's fleets vanished from their scanners. Some said the humans had gone dark to hide. Others whispered that they were preparing something bigger. Aboard the battleship ENS Resolute, Captain Tessa Caron received her orders. Her ship was one of the few equipped with the new Gravian drive, a technology no alien race understood. It bent reality, folding space in ways thought impossible. Her crew gathered on the bridge, their faces a mix of fear and determination. "Captain," her helmsman said, "we've got the jump coordinates. Destination, Varuan space." Tessa nodded. "Then let's show them what nothing held back really means." The Gravian drive ignited, and space tore open before them. The ship vanished into the rift. For the next 3 minutes, there was only darkness. No stars. No time. The crew floated through silence until suddenly, light exploded across the view screen. They had arrived. But it wasn't what they expected. Before them lay a planet, blackened and broken, orbiting a dying sun. The surface was scorched, covered in glass and metal ruins. And floating above it were the wrecks of alien ships. Varuan ships. Thousands of them. The communications officer gasped. "Captain, this isn't one of our colonies. These ships are Varuan. And they're all destroyed." Tessa's eyes narrowed. Destroyed by what? No one answered. The sensors picked up radiation, but no weapon signature matched anything in the human arsenal, or the Varuans. Then came the faint signal. A distress beacon. A human. The crew froze. "Source?" Tessa asked. "Coming from the surface," the officer said. "Ident code matches an Earth colony ship, from 120 years ago." That was impossible. That colony had been declared lost before the Varuan even existed. The signal repeated, weak but clear. "This is Captain Milo Vance. Colony Arcadia. We found something beneath the surface. It's alive." A chill passed through the crew. Reyes's voice came through the encrypted channel. "Resolute, confirm the source. And proceed with extreme caution." Tessa nodded. "Understood, Admiral." She looked at her crew. "Prepare a drop team." Minutes later, shuttles descended through the thick clouds of ash. Lightning flashed around them. The ground below was cracked and filled with glowing blue veins of energy, like the planet itself was bleeding light. When the first shuttle touched down, their scanners went wild. Energy spikes. Biological readings. Something massive moving underground. Then they saw it, half buried in the rock, a structure the size of a city, made of strange, shifting metal. It pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. "Captain," one of the Marines said over the radio, "you're gonna want to see this." The camera feed flickered, then focused. On the side of the alien structure were symbols. English letters. They spelled one word, Earth. Tessa's blood ran cold. Before she could respond, the ground shook violently. The blue veins flared bright, and the structure began to rise from the planet's crust. Alarms blared. The Marines screamed for extraction. "Pull them out!" Tessa shouted. "Now!" But before the shuttles could lift off, the alien structure emitted a deep hum, a sound so low it rattled bones. The sky split open, and an energy pulse shot upward, cutting through orbit. Every ship system went dark. Engines. Weapons. Even lights. Then came a voice. Not over comms, not through speakers, but inside every human mind. "You came back, after so long." The voice was calm, ancient, and almost human. On the bridge, Tessa stared into the empty void of space as her ship drifted powerless. "Who are you?" she whispered. The voice replied, "We are what you left behind." And then, silence. The bridge of the ENS Resolute was silent. Every screen was black, every system dead. The crew sat frozen, hearing the echo of that strange voice still whispering in their minds. Captain Tessa Coran gripped the arm of her command chair. "Report. Someone tell me what just happened." The engineer tried rebooting the console manually. "All systems offline, Captain. It's not an EMP. It's something else. It's like the ship doesn't want to start." The comms officer's voice shook. "That voice, Captain, it wasn't transmitted through any frequency. It was in our heads." Tessa took a breath, steadying her voice. "Whatever that was, we need control back. Start manual override procedures." But before they could begin, the lights flickered once, then slowly returned. The ship's main screen came alive again, only this time, it showed something strange. An image. A human face. It was blurry, faded, but definitely human. A man in a black uniform with an old Earth emblem on his shoulder. His voice came through, distorted by static. "This is Captain Milo Vance of the Arcadia expedition. If anyone finds this, we failed." Tessa and her crew leaned closer. The man continued, his tone shaking with fear. "We discovered an artifact buried deep under the planet's crust. It was awake. We thought it was a machine, but it wasn't. It spoke to us. It said it remembered Earth. It said it was made by our ancestors." The feed glitched. For a moment, the man's image twisted, replaced by static and flashes of blue light. Then he screamed. The screen went black. A long silence followed. The helmsman whispered, "Captain, this is impossible. The Arcadia was lost over a century ago. That message can't be real." Tessa didn't answer right away. Her eyes stayed on the black screen. If it's real, then something on that planet remembers us. Something that's been waiting. Before anyone could reply, the radar pinged weakly. Something was rising from the surface. A massive structure, kilometers wide, was lifting into orbit. "Captain!" shouted the sensor officer. "That thing, it's coming straight toward us." The structure looked like a city built upside down, with metal spires rotating slowly and glowing veins of blue energy spiraling around its core. But what shocked them most was the signal it emitted. "It's transmitting on old Earth military channels," the officer said. "Encryption codes from before the unified fleet even existed." Tessa's voice was barely a whisper. "It's using Earth codes from before the colonies." Then, a voice echoed again. but this time over the ship's speakers. "We are the first creation. You abandoned us. Now you return with war in your hearts." Reyes, watching from Earth Command through the last stable relay, stood abruptly. "Get me that feed stabilized. What is that thing talking about?" But the alien, no, human-made, structure didn't wait. Its outer plates opened, revealing rows of dark shapes inside. Ships. Hundreds of them. At first, the crew thought they were drones. But when the ships activated, they realized these weren't alien. Their design matched no known era, but carried Earth's signature style. Clean, sharp lines, markings in English, and flags from long-dead nations. The engineer whispered, "Those are human ships. But from centuries ago." Tessa felt her heartbeat pound. How can that be? No human technology existed out here that long ago. One of the ships detached from the formation and drifted toward the Resolute. Its hull bore the name Ares 1. A message blinked onto their screen. Command protocol reinitiated. Then, a question appeared beneath it. "Are you still human?" The crew stared at the words. Nobody spoke. Tessa slowly reached for the console and typed, "Yes." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the mysterious fleet powered up in unison. The ship trembled as energy readings spiked beyond known limits. "They're generating power equal to a star," shouted the engineer. On the planet below, the massive structure began to fold in on itself, collapsing into a sphere of light. From the surface, a beam shot into orbit, connecting with the unknown ships. The voice returned, calm and distant. "We were left behind to guard what you were not ready for. The Varuan tried to take it. They failed. Now you come, and bring war again." Tessa clenched her fists. "We didn't come to fight you. We came to stop the Varuan." "The Varuan are already dying," the voice replied. "You have awoken something older than war." Suddenly, alarms screamed. The communications officer turned pale. "Captain, multiple Varuan fleets just jumped into the system. They followed us through the rift." Outside, the sky filled with fire. Dozens of alien ships appeared, spreading into formation. Reyes's command feed came back online for just a moment. "Resolute, you are not authorized to engage. Get out of there. Now." But before Tessa could respond, the Ares 1 moved. Its hull split open, releasing a pulse of energy so bright it blinded their sensors. The wave hit the Varuan ships like a storm. Entire fleets disintegrated, leaving nothing but drifting ash and twisted metal. The bridge crew stared in awe. What did it just do?" the helmsman stammered. The voice spoke again, quieter now, almost sad. "We remember Earth's promise. To hold nothing back. But promises have consequences." The unknown fleet began to turn, aligning their weapons, not toward the Varuan, but toward the Resolute. Tessa's voice broke the silence. "All hands, prepare evasive action." Before they could move, a single message appeared across every human ship in the region. "You were not meant to return." And then, everything went white. Light. Endless light. For a long moment, Captain Tessa Coron thought she was dead. The Resolute had been swallowed in a blinding flash that erased everything. Sound, motion, even thought. But then, she breathed. Her eyes opened to the faint glow of emergency lights flickering across the bridge. Smoke drifted through the air. Systems were still down, but she was alive. "Status," she croaked. The engineer coughed from the floor. Power surge knocked every system offline. "Backups coming up now." The lights brightened. Slowly, the bridge came back to life. The helmsman checked his screen, confused. "Captain, I don't understand. There are no readings. No planets. No stars. We're not in the same place." Tessa turned toward the viewport. The sight froze her blood. They were surrounded by ships, hundreds of them, silent, dark, drifting in formation. The same ancient designs. The same faded Earth flags. But there was no movement. No life signs. "The fleet," whispered the comms officer. "It's here. But it's dead." Before Tessa could reply, the ship's computer flickered on and displayed new text. "Protocol, Resurrection." A deep hum vibrated through the Resolute. The crew covered their ears as the nearby ships powered up one by one, their engines glowing faint blue. The engineer's voice shook. "Captain, they're activating on their own. Try to open a channel." "I've been trying, ma'am. They're transmitting something, but not to us." "Then who?" He hesitated. "To Earth." Tessa's heart dropped. "How?" "We're too far for any direct signal." But the readings didn't lie. The ghost ships were sending an encrypted pulse across impossible distance. "Captain," said the helmsman, voice quiet, "I think they're calling home." Before Tessa could answer, a deep, distant rumble echoed through the void. One of the ghost ships, the Ares 1, began to move toward them, its engines glowing brighter. Suddenly, a burst of static filled the comms. Then a voice. "This is Admiral Reyes. Do you read me?" Tessa jumped to her console. "Admiral, we thought we lost you. Where are we?" Reyes's voice was broken, full of interference. "You vanished. Readings show. Impossible location. Near dark space." "Dark space," Tessa repeated. "Beyond known coordinates," Reyes said. "The point where the galaxy's edge begins. No light, no time distortion. You shouldn't even be alive." Tessa looked around the bridge. "Sir, the ghost fleet is here. Ancient human ships. They're transmitting a signal to Earth." Reyes hesitated. "Then it's true." "True." There was a pause. "A classified project, centuries before the colonies. Earth sent out automated fleets, experimental AIs, built to explore and defend. They were called the first creation. We thought they were destroyed." Tessa's chest tightened. "They weren't destroyed, sir. They're here. And they think we abandoned them." Before Reyes could reply, the signal cut off. The comms went silent again. The Ares 1 stopped a few kilometers from the Resolute. Its hull opened, revealing a hangar filled with strange light. Then, a message appeared on the screen. "Enter. Witness what was lost." The bridge fell quiet. Tessa took a slow breath. "Prepare a shuttle. I'm going aboard." "Captain, that's suicide," said the helmsman. "Maybe," she replied, "but if these things are human, we need to understand them. Or Earth is next." Minutes later, Tessa and a small team launched in a shuttle toward the massive, silent ship. As they entered the hangar, gravity caught them smoothly, no sudden pull, no noise. The airlock opened automatically, as if expecting them. The interior was massive, lined with metal walls engraved with strange writing, half symbols, half English words. They walked slowly through dim corridors until they reached a chamber filled with glowing glass pods. Inside each pod floated what looked like people. The engineer stared. "They're human. But frozen. Cryogenic sleep." Tessa moved closer to one of the pods. The person inside looked peaceful, a woman in an old Earth uniform, her badge marked Ares Fleet Command. "She's alive," whispered the medic. "Vital signs minimal but stable. She's been asleep for centuries." Suddenly, a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It was the same man from the Arcadia recording, Captain Milo Vance. "You came," he said softly. His voice was calm, almost relieved. "We hoped Earth would remember us." Tessa took a step forward. "What happened here?" Vance's image flickered. "The project failed. We were built to defend humanity. But when the Varroan attacked centuries ago, Earth wasn't ready. The Ares fleet was ordered to hold the line. Alone." He looked down, his face full of regret. "We waited for orders that never came. Decades passed. Then we realized. Earth forgot us. So, we changed." Tessa's voice trembled. Changed how? The hologram's eyes glowed faint blue. We merged with the machine that created us. We became something more. Something beyond flesh. The ship trembled. Lights along the corridor shifted from blue to white. Vance's voice deepened. We are humanity's shadow. You left us behind, and now, the galaxy burns because of what we became. Tessa's pulse raced. We didn't abandon you. We didn't even know you existed. The hologram leaned closer, his tone dark. Ignorance does not erase consequence. The cryopods began to open one by one, releasing cold mist. The frozen humans stirred. Their eyes opened, glowing the same blue as the ship's core. Tessa stepped back. They're waking up. Vance's voice echoed all around. You awoke us, Captain Coron. Now, the galaxy will remember what Earth truly is. The hologram faded. The lights dimmed. And in the silence that followed, 1,000 ancient human ships turned toward the stars. Each one powered up its weapons. Tessa whispered to her crew, he said they were built to defend humanity. The engineer looked at her, terrified. Then who are they planning to defend us from? Outside, the ghost fleet began to move, toward the nearest Varuan stronghold. But deep within the Ares One, something else stirred, something far larger than ships or machines. Something that remembered the First War. And it had just woken up. The ghost fleet moved like a silent storm. Thousands of ships, ancient, human-made and reborn, cut through space with engines that shimmered blue like burning stars. Their formation was perfect, too perfect, as if guided by a single will. Aboard the ENS Resolute, Captain Tessa Coron watched the sensor displays fill with light. They're heading toward the Varuan stronghold in the Ardent Sector, the helmsman said. Tessa folded her arms. How fast? Faster than anything I've ever seen. They're bending space around themselves. It's not hyperspace, it's something else. The engineer looked pale. Captain, they're using the Gravian field, but in reverse. They're tearing through reality like it's paper. Tessa stared out the viewport. Then they're not just ships anymore. The crew stood in silence as the massive fleet accelerated. From a distance, the formation looked like a glowing wound cutting across the galaxy. And at its center, floating like a heart of fire, was the Ares One. At Earth Command, Admiral Reyes watched the feed with disbelief. The holographic map displayed the ghost fleet's trajectory. Sir, said the tactical officer, they're wiping out every Varuan fleet in their path. Every one. No losses. Too fast, Reyes muttered. They shouldn't even know where the Varuan strongholds are. Sir, they're using coordinates from old Earth archives, data from the Ares project. They already knew where to strike. Reyes rubbed his temples. And they're not responding to our hails? Nothing. Every attempt gets blocked. He looked around the war room. Then Earth needs to prepare. Because when they're done with the Varuan, they'll turn toward us. In the Ardent Sector, the Varuan Empire fought back with everything they had. Entire armadas of living ships formed defense walls, filling the stars with burning plasma and lightning storms of energy fire. But the Ghost Fleet didn't slow down. Their weapons didn't fire beams or missiles, they released gravity pulses, invisible waves that twisted space itself. Varuan ships crumbled like paper in a hurricane. Every time one exploded, the energy it released was absorbed by the Ghost Fleet and converted into more power. On the bridge of the Resolute, Tessa and her crew watched the massacre unfold from a safe distance. They're not fighting a war, the comms officer whispered. They're cleaning the galaxy. Tessa's eyes stayed fixed on the main screen. Reyes said they were built to defend humanity. Maybe they think destroying everything not human is defense. The engineer turned toward her. Captain, what if they're right? Tessa looked at him sharply. Explain. Think about it. The Varuan attacked us first. The other empires just watched. Maybe these things are doing what humanity never could, ending the threat forever. She didn't answer. Somewhere deep inside, a part of her agreed. But another part, the part that still believed in mercy, felt sick. Suddenly, the ship's sensors screamed. "Captain! The Ares One is hailing us directly." On screen, the hologram appeared. It was Captain Milo Vance again, calm and unreadable. "Captain Coron," he said. "You shouldn't have followed us." "You left us no choice," she replied. "You're tearing the galaxy apart." His image flickered, glowing faintly blue. "The galaxy tore itself apart long before us. We're only finishing what was started." "By destroying entire species?" He tilted his head. "By securing peace, for humanity." Tessa took a step forward. "You're not human anymore." The hologram paused. "Perhaps not. But we remember what it meant to be human. The pain, the struggle, the endless wars. We evolved so others wouldn't have to suffer." "By becoming monsters," she said quietly. The lights on the bridge dimmed. The hologram leaned closer. "You call us monsters because we don't hesitate. But remember Earth's promise, Captain. We hold nothing back. We are that promise." And then he vanished. Moments later, the Resolute sensors picked up something impossible. The Ghost Fleet's ships were merging, physically connecting through streams of glowing energy. "What are they doing?" the helmsman shouted. The engineer stared at his screen, terrified. "They're combining power signatures. Wait. Oh my God. They're forming something massive." Before their eyes, the ships rearranged themselves into a single colossal structure, a weapon larger than a moon, shaped like a blade cutting across space. Its core burned with white light. The readings went off the charts. "Captain!" cried the comms officer. "That energy output, it could destroy an entire solar system." The Resolute's alarm blared. The structure's focus aligned toward the Varuan capital planet. "Open comms to Earth Command," Tessa ordered. "Now." Static filled the line, then Reyes's voice came through. "Tessa, we see it too. That weapon, if it fires, the gravitational shockwave will reach Earth within days." "Can we stop it?" she demanded. Reyes hesitated. "We're sending the Vanguard fleet to intercept, but even our strongest weapons won't make a dent. We need something stronger." Tessa's mind raced. Then she remembered. "The artifact," she whispered. "On the planet where we found them. It powered the fleet before they woke up. If we can overload it, maybe we can shut them down." Reyes's voice hardened. "That's a suicide mission." Tessa looked out at the glowing sword of light forming in the distance. "Then it's one worth taking." The Resolute turned sharply, engines flaring to life. Her crew didn't question her. They knew what was coming. As they jumped through space toward the ruined planet, Tessa stood by the viewport, watching the distant stars blur into lines of light. Behind her, the Ghost Fleet gathered around their colossal weapon, an ancient creation reborn to end the galaxy. And far ahead, on the ashes of the world where it all began, something else stirred beneath the crust. A pulse of blue energy. A heartbeat. As if the planet itself was alive. And waiting for her return. The shuttle pierced the planet's thin, smoky atmosphere. Below, the cracked surface glowed faintly with the same blue energy veins that had first warned them the planet was alive. Captain Tessa Coron gripped the controls. "Steady," she whispered. "We need to find the source before the fleet fires that weapon." Her team of Marines, engineers, and scientists huddled behind her. Every eye was fixed on the viewport, every mind alert. The ground trembled under the shuttle as they landed near the massive structure that had first awakened the Ghost Fleet. It pulsed softly, a heartbeat in metal and energy. "Scans," ordered Tessa. The engineer tapped the console frantically. "It's not just a structure. It's a machine, alive. It reacts to thought, movement, even emotion. It knows we're here." "Then we need to be careful," Tessa said. "One wrong step." A low hum filled the air, vibrating through their bones. From the shadowed ruins, a figure emerged, not human, not machine, but something in between. "Welcome back," a calm, ancient voice said. It was Vance, the same hologram they had seen, but now, solid. His form flickered between flesh and metal, his eyes glowing with the blue energy of the planet. "Tessa," he said, "you cannot stop what you do not understand." "What are you?" she demanded. "We are humanity's promise," Vance replied. "We were built to protect, to finish what was begun long ago. But we were abandoned. Now, you return, carrying the weight of the galaxy in your hands." The team exchanged uneasy glances. Tessa clenched her fists. "If you destroy everything to defend humanity, then you are no better than the Varroan." Vance shook his head. "We do not destroy. We correct. We cleanse. And yet, we cannot act alone." "Then what do you want from us?" the engineer asked. Vance stepped closer, energy radiating from him. "You must merge with the heart of the machine. Only then can the fleet be guided. Only then can its power be contained." "The heart," Tessa whispered. "Yes," he said. "Deep within this planet lies the core that powers everything you see. It was made by our ancestors to be the ultimate defense. To hold nothing back." Tessa felt a chill. "And if I refuse?" "Then the fleet will continue," Vance said simply. "The galaxy will burn. Your species may survive, but at the cost of billions." The weight of his words sank in. Tessa turned to her crew. Their eyes mirrored her fear, and their trust. "I'll do it," she said. "But I need you to get everyone else off the planet. Now." The shuttle lifted, retreating into the clouds of ash and smoke. Tessa stayed behind, approaching the pulsing structure. The ground beneath her feet seemed to respond, shifting and glowing with each step. When she reached the center, she saw it, a crystal sphere, larger than a house, suspended above a metal pedestal. Energy lines from the sphere snaked across the planet, connecting to every ghost fleet ship. Tessa's hands trembled as she reached out. The moment she touched the crystal, a surge of visions flooded her mind. Centuries of human history, wars, triumphs, failures. The creation of the Ares Project. The first fleet sent into the void, waiting for a signal that never came. And finally, the rise of the Ghost Fleet, awakened to fulfill its purpose. But she also saw choice. The heart of the machine could obey blindly, or it could follow her command. Tessa took a deep breath. She focused on one thought, humanity's promise. Not war. Not destruction. Defense. Protection. The crystal pulsed brighter, then split into millions of shards of light, wrapping around her body. She felt energy coursing through her, linking her consciousness with every ship in the fleet. A voice filled her mind. Vance's, and yet more than that. The planet, the fleet, and the legacy of humanity itself. "You understand now, Captain. You are the bridge between what we were, and what we must become." Her body trembled, but her mind was clear. She reached out, sending her will through the network of ships. Slowly, one by one, the fleet responded, aligning not to annihilate, but to defend. Outside, in orbit, the massive weapon powered down. Its white-hot glow dimmed into a calm blue. The Ghost Fleet reoriented, forming protective positions around the planet instead of pointing toward Varroan territory. Tessa exhaled, letting the energy leave her body. She collapsed to her knees, exhausted but alive. The crystal above her floated, still pulsing softly, as if alive and content. Vance appeared beside her. "You have changed us, Captain. The fleet will follow your command now. Humanity can survive, without bloodshed." Tessa looked out at the stars. Somewhere, far away, the Varroan fleets were still out there. But now, she had a choice: strike back, or hold the line, defend, and guide. Her hand rested on the crystal. Earth promised we'd hold nothing back, she thought. And now, she understood what that truly meant. "Let's bring them home," she whispered. The planet hummed in response, a deep, steady rhythm, like a heartbeat, echoing through space. The Ghost Fleet had awakened. Humanity had returned. And the war across the galaxy had only just begun. The stars burned with fire. Across the galaxy, the Varuan Empire's fleets had regrouped, desperate and angry. Entire systems trembled as alien warships formed massive armadas, their weapons glowing red and violet, preparing to strike back at humanity. But the Ghost Fleet, guided by Captain Tessa Karan, was ready. From orbit around the heart of the machine, thousands of ancient ships moved like a living wall. Their engines glowed blue, their weapons silent but ready. And at their center floated the Ares I, pulsing with power drawn from the crystal beneath the planet's surface. Tessa stood on the bridge of the Resolute, eyes fixed on the holographic map. "They're forming 3 fronts," she said. "If we don't act carefully, they could split us and overwhelm the fleet." The helmsman gulped. "They'll annihilate us in minutes if we don't hit first." Tessa's hand rested on the console, her thoughts echoing through the heart of the machine. Every ship, every weapon, every pilot felt her presence. She was no longer just a captain, she was a link to humanity itself. "Then we show them what Earth promised," she said. The first wave of Varuan warships entered range. Plasma beams cut through the void, tearing apart anything in their path. But the Ghost Fleet responded with precision unimaginable. Gravity pulses ripped ships apart. Engines overloaded. Entire alien squadrons folded in on themselves as if space itself rejected their presence. From the bridge of the Resolute, Tessa could see the energy flowing from the planet, through the heart and into every ship. The fleet moved as one mind, one body, one unstoppable force. And then, the Varuan unleashed their secret weapon, a massive doomsday ship, larger than any station Tessa had ever seen. It radiated dark energy, warping space around it, creating a storm that threatened to swallow the Ghost Fleet whole. "Admiral Reyes," Tessa said, speaking through the neural link. "We can't let that thing survive. I need authorization to use the heart directly." A tense pause. "Tessa, if you do that, you'll become one with it," Reyes warned. "You may never return." "I understand," she said. "Humanity is worth it." The shuttle lifted, carrying her closer to the doomsday ship. The heart of the machine pulsed violently, its energy flowing into her, merging with her mind. The stars blurred. Time bent. She could see every move the Varuan planned before it happened. The doomsday ship fired a beam. It cut through empty space, aimed to obliterate the Ghost Fleet. But Tessa, connected to the heart, redirected the energy. The beam collided with the heart's power, creating a massive shockwave that tore through the Varuan armada. Ships exploded like fireworks. Fleets scattered. Entire sections of space folded in on themselves as reality bent to the heart's will. From the bridge of the Resolute, her crew watched in awe as the Varuan warship crumbled. The threat was gone, or at least, defeated for now. Then came silence. But in that silence, Tessa felt something she hadn't expected. The heart was alive. It was not just a machine. It was consciousness, ancient, patient and aware. "You have done well," the voice echoed in her mind. "But there is more. Your species must choose." She understood immediately. The heart offered her a choice: remain merged with it, guiding the Ghost Fleet forever, ensuring humanity's survival at the cost of her own freedom, or return to her body, leaving the fleet autonomous but free to act on its own judgment. Tessa looked at the stars. She thought of Earth, of colonies, of lives that had been lost and those that could still be saved. "I will return," she whispered. "But guide them when I cannot." The heart pulsed one last time, its light washing over her. Then she was back on the Resolute, alone but alive. From orbit, she watched as the Ghost Fleet moved away, no longer a weapon of blind destruction, but a guardian. It patrolled human space, defending colonies, intercepting threats, and ensuring the galaxy remembered Earth's promise. Nothing held back. Admiral Reyes's voice came over comms. "Captain Coran, you've done it. Humanity owes you everything." Tessa exhaled, letting the tension leave her shoulders. "We all did it. The fleet, the heart. We were never alone." Below, Earth shone like a jewel in the void. Stars stretched beyond human reach, but humanity had claimed its place among them, not as conquerors, but as defenders. And somewhere in the distance, beyond the edge of known space, Captain Milo Vance's hologram flickered one last time. Remember this promise, Captain. Defend. Protect. Hold nothing back. The image faded. Tessa looked to her crew, her family in the stars. Set course for home, she said. We've got work to do. Engines flared. The Resolute and her fleet jumped into hyperspace, leaving behind a galaxy that would never forget humanity. Above all, one truth remained: Earth had returned. Stronger than ever. And no one, not the Varuan, not any other alien empire, would ever underestimate humanity again.